Here with me is Bulent Aliriza, his Director and Senior Associate of the Turkey Project at CSIS, the Center for Strategic and International Studies. Sir, thank you for joining us.
Thank you.
We've just heard from our reporters, President Erdogan is likely to continue his term as the President of Turkey with enhanced power. How do you look at the election results?
Well, if it's confirmed by the High Election Council and the President himself said that these were unofficial results that we're going on, it will be a new mandate for a man who has ruled Turkey for the past 16 years, initially as Prime Minister and since 2014 as President. He called early elections. They were not due until November 2019. Obviously, he thought that this would give him an advantage before possibly the economic situation got worse and before the opposition parties were ready for elections. And his gamble seems to have paid off.
Let's focus on the votes. The opposition tried to force their vote into the runoff. They couldn't. They cited the voting irregularities, all the incidents. How do you look at their claims?
Well, we have yet to hear from the opposition leader, Mr. Ince, who ran a good campaign. His vote of over 30% is higher than his party's vote, which is somewhere in the 20s. But together with the other opposition leaders' votes, they could not prevent Erdogan from getting the 50% plus, which he apparently has got. So there will not be a runoff. Now, I assume that they will be questioning the results, but it seems as if President Erdogan has won a new mandate. And as your reporter confirmed, we're now transitioning into a presidential system with this election, and power will be vested in the president. Post of prime minister will be abolished. The president of Turkey, like the president of the US, will choose his cabinet members. And so, he will return to the presidential palace with even greater powers than he had before.
Can you help our international viewers understand this parliament versus presidential power checks and balances, or power struggle, if you will? Is it more like the US, where the Congress exercises considerable power, or like some other countries where a parliament is largely ceremonial?
Well, the new system will see a parliament much less effective than before, because literally we're moving from one system, parliamentary, to another, presidential. Turkey had previously been ruled by a parliamentary system, whereby the party with the largest number of seats chose the prime minister. He was then responsible to parliament, and executive power was vested in the prime minister. Now, where we're going to see executive power, we're going to see it vested, is in the presidential palace. Parliament will have some powers, but it will be somewhat akin, as you said, to a US system or the French system, where the chief executive has all the power.
You mentioned the new mandate for President Erdogan. How do you think he will go about using this in terms of, let's say, international relations? We know there's tension between Turkey's relations with Russia, very complicated relations with his neighbors. How do you think he will go about conducting his foreign policy?
Well, actually, he doesn't have tensions with Russia. He's much more cooperative with Russia than he had been in the past.
There was a bombing incident a few months ago.
Yeah, and then they patched it up, and Turkey's now planning to build a nuclear reactor with them, build a pipeline for Russian gas, and buy Russian missiles. But the tensions are really with the United States, and I do not expect those to dissipate. There are many issues between the US and Turkey. Also issues between Turkey and the EU, and Turkey is still an aspirant for EU membership. You ask how it's going to be different with the election. I would say it's going to be more of the same now that President Erdogan has been elected, with some variations on his earlier themes.
Bulent Aliriza, thank you so much for your insight.
Thank you.